So continuing with this, we'll be looking about the how this nodal centers as well as the referral centers which is connected. You can see here. So the nodal centers which is identified, it's marked in the telephone symbol. Then the nodal, the referral centers which is as the red color, the icon, you can say as a circle or something, the location. So now you need to have the idea that, so this referral center which is connected with the nodal center, okay, the nodal one, the another nodal center which is connected here. So you can see the distance. So how much the coverage it's happening with the different districts and all those things. Okay, so as per the understanding, you can consider that the referral center which is placed in the uh, like a state capital, we can say. Then the different nodal centers will be in the each and every districts headquarters and all those things, we can say. So this can be established to the district, to the rural areas and all those things. Okay, so that's what we were saying in the previous classes. So when you understand this, you can see that this is the different referral centers and as well as the nodal centers which is connected. So you can have more than one referral centers also. So how you are connecting? So you can visualize this is the connecting nodes. So the nearby nodal centers, you can have one referral centers also. Already I told you in that ratios. So the district head hospital to the primary health centers, different primary health centers which will be connected to the one referral centers which is having in the district headquarter, like that. Okay, so now you can check here. So we have like a the nodal centers as well as a different reference centers here you can see. Okay, so you can create a path also. You can create a path, the dedicated path. So this are all the nodal centers will be connected, connected to this reference centers, like that, for the initial stage of process and all those things. Okay, so this is the one of thing. So you need to understand the how the telemedicine it's increased. So the growth of telemedicine. So they started with the American Telemedicine Association. So the growth is huge. Okay, when you see into 2010 to 16. So you need to understand. So nowadays it's consultations is happening through the like video consultations and all this. So when you look this one, so the different group of people will be connected for the telemedicine. So what kind of people will be connected? So they can have them different criteria. So based on the criteria, so kind of you can say as a the group of people will be joining with that. So sometimes you can say that this particular the department is doing telemedicine. It's they're doing with the teleconferencing and all those things, we can say. Okay, so we'll see there are several areas that then we can check in the this slide. So you can see that how the telemedicine is successful in the few areas, the departments, we can say. So when you talk about the improving the mental health services access is the goal. So we have like a the scenario. So how the hospital is established, and then how the patients are taken care. So what kind of advantage we are getting. So how we are making the engage with the patients and all those things. How many hours we have, how many days we have engaging the patients with that. So that we can say. So when you look for this scenario, you can identify the results, the outcome of this mental health services. So the patient's stay is reduced 47 percentage. Reduction in the length of stay. So if you're reducing the 47 percentage of stay in the hospital, say example the patient has to stay for 1 month in the hospital, so you're almost it's reducing less than 53 percentage if they are staying in the hospital. That means almost it's a 15 to 16 days if they stay. It's more than 70 days if they stay more than so almost this 15 days is the accountability here. So the stay is they're not staying in the hospital, they're staying in the home, still they are in the medication. So you need to understand, when the patient is in the comfortable in the home, recovery time will be easy, recovery time will be reduced, so it will be easy to recover also. So that is also, it's very very important. So when you understand this kind of thing, the next issue is the like a kind of already I told you, the overcrowding in the hospitals, wait times and all those things. Say example, the hospital capacity is 1,000, but the people are coming 2,000 people. So the how we will be managed. So you need to understand. So this if you are practicing with the teleconsultations and all those things, so the number of people coming into the hospital will be reduced. They will be looking for the kind of teleconsultations and all this. So the telemedicine is one of the major benefits we have. So you need to understand. So this is the why we are moving towards the telemedicine. Okay, so like that. So we have like the next goal is the increasing access to the specialized care. So already I told you the several times. So the rural people, how they will get the expert advice, expertise, suggestions, and all those things. So this through the telemedicine we'll be getting that. So like say example you can say as a neurosurgeon. So when you want to have the neurosurgeon reviews, it's very difficult. So the specialist in the neurosurgeons, you understand what I'm trying to say. So so the specialist is connected through the telemedicine. It's an added advantage to the patients. Okay, so similarly, you need to understand the staffing during the low volume and other things. So the staffing also, it's one of the important thing when you want to run a hospital, when you want to manage a department. Say example, the OPD is manageable, the staffing is 10 staffs are there, so the ratio is there. So 4 doctors, 8 nurses, like that. Okay, so the staffing ratio is there. So whenever you have the lesser staffing, but if a crowd is coming over crowding, then you need to manage it, right? So this is also the keeping the appointment for the patients and all those things. So a lot of issues are there. So for them, if you are making with the staffing in the proper way, it will be good. The study also they made that 19% of common hospitals admissions occurred between the 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So you need to understand. So which that the durations hospital admissions is the more. So based on that, so you can have the shifting mechanism for the staffing. Okay, so how many patients are there, so what kind of admissions is occurring during this time, how many staffing is required, or duty doctors and the staff nurse and all this. So this is also one of the important criteria you need to consider. So when you look for the healthcare organizations, why they're going towards telemedicine, because we have like a shortage of physician already, I told you. So we need to have the proper staffing should be there. So when you have the telemedicine in the practice, so the waiting time is reduced for the patients, as well as the doctor can see them, they can attend the number of patients more. So it's reduced cost for the patients, as well as it is, we can say, as a the efficiency improvement efforts and all the things. So it's another important thing is the improved access for the patients. So they will get all the access if they want to get any specialist advice through the telemedicine system. They can connect with the hierarchy level. They can get that. Okay, so the another important thing is the technology support also should be there. So we will be getting advanced technologies. So that has to be accepted from the patients and as well as the physicians. So we need to. So the reimbursement from the insurance company and all those things is very very important. So we can have like the good rapport with the physician as well as the patients, because so every information will be in the on record. Okay, so whenever it's needed, it can be retrieved. Okay, so this is the reason the all the healthcare organizations they're turning into the telemedicine units. Okay, so when you talk about the telemedicines, we need some the essential components, which is very important when you talk about the telemedicine systems. So there are three essential components very important in a system. So when you consider, so we need to understand about the personal. Okay, we need to understand about the technology. So this is two are very important. Then the next one will come as the liberal measures of the pursuance and all this. So the personal is the how the practice is happening. So what kind of practice is suitable. So how the personal committed for the essential things to do and all this. And when you talk about the technology, we have a lot of equipments. So this equipment's reliability is one of the very important. So when you look for the adoption of the adopting the technology towards the telemedicine, so the reliability of the system, because sometimes the users will be in the rural area and other things. So the reliability of the instrument should be there, as well as the whenever it's recorded and it's transferring to us, so the information should not be lost. So this is the technology you need to understand. So then the liberal measures, so you need to dictated in individual needed with the pursuance to overcome the inertia and others. So we need to have the proper routines. You need to have the establishment of the this systems. So the next important thing is the clinical requirements. So what kind of equipments you are using. So whether when you are using the, already I told you, right, if you are using the rural area and others, so all the information has to be captured in the proper way. So all the clinical information with the different sites you will be acquiring. But similarly, you need to have the proper telecommunication mediums. So this medium will be establishing the link. Okay, so when you are establishing the link, so it should have the capability of transferring the informations from the nodal center to the reference centers and others. So this between these routes, if you have the very good sophisticated machines and all those things, but if you have the telecommunication medium not transmitting as well as receiving the proper information, so you are encountering the errors and all those things, then it's a entire system will be process will be the question mark. So you need to understand, so the proper information has to be shared with the both the ends. Similarly, you need to have the display systems, which is will be having the both the ends. Okay, so the display system is mandatory for the both the to have the both way communications. Okay, so when you understand further, looking for the technology, what kind of technology you will be adopting, so how you will be transmitting. So you need to understand what kind of information, types of informations you are going to transfer. So already I told you very first slides. So the informations will be in the audio, video format, data format, and all this. So what type of informations you are going to be transmitted, the quantity of the informations to be transferred. So that is also is very important. Why this is very important? So in terms of data, if you're talking, so we have like a 2G network, the 4G network. So if you want to send a 100 MB data, imagine in the 2G network as well as the 4G network. So you need to understand the quantity of the information, how much you are going to transfer. So the next level is security as well as the privacy. So the security level of your information. So when you're sending from the one location, so the proper the security level has to be ensured here. Okay, so when you talk about the example of the different types of informations, we have like the information source. We can have like a ECG recording, chest x-ray. So the ECG recording will be providing the information on data. If you are using the x-ray, it will give us a images, still images. If you're going for the electronic stethoscope, it will give you as a audio type informations. So when you are going for the ultrasound recordings and other thing, we will be getting as a moving images like a video. So if you understand this, we have different format of information. Say example, audio, data, still image, moving image. So this data will be getting with the different file sizes. Okay, so you need to understand when you are, I mean, I am looking for the data. When you are looking for the audio file, so I'll be getting only 100 KB. When you have the images, so I'll be getting as in MB. If I'm going with the moving images, I'll be getting more MB, so megabytes. So when you understand, so imagine I want to transfer the file from the one location, rural center, to the nodal center, to the reference center. I need proper communication medium to send the 10 MB file or 100 MB file. So this is where we need to understand what type of informations we are going to deal here. Okay. See, it's a simple ultrasound image itself this much. If you are considering more the informations, then you will be having the lot of the communication medium to have the path to get this all the informations to be transferred here. Okay, so from the referral centers to the nodal centers, and nodal centers to the referral centers, as well as the referral centers to nodal center, because both the end will be getting the information. So another important thing is, already I told you, in the nodal centers you will be having all the sophisticated equipment. In the referral centers you will be having only the displaying of the informations. Okay, so when you look for this information, so what all we will be capturing, so we'll be capturing with the different documents. We have like a medical records. The patient medical records will be, so this we can say as a patient medical records or electronic medical records, we can say. So the different images we will be getting, then audio file as well as a video file we will be getting. So this is the informations we will be dealing with the technology. Okay, so further, if you are going with the personal and technology, then we need to look for the what kind of technologies are involved in the telemedicine systems. So, some mandatory, we need to have the medical instrumentation. So, the medical instrumentations. So, we'll be getting us a lot of biomedical signals. So to get the biomedical signals, so you need sensing part. So, there's different sensors involvement is there in the biomedical instrumentation. We have the medical imaging techniques, so the lot of medical imaging starting from the X-ray, CT, MRI, and all those things. Then we have like a measurement of physical parameters, like kind of nowadays it's everybody knows about the measuring the temperature, measuring the SpO2 level. So when during this pandemic, so everywhere you can identify, they'll be checking with the body temperature. Okay, these are all the physical parameters they will be looking. So right, to have the initial screenings and all those, right? So these are all the medical. A lot of medical instrumentation there. It's connected with the telemedicine. Okay. Similarly, you have like a communications medium. Always, this is very important thing. Telecommunications technology. So you'll be having the transceivers. So because you are going to connect the different places with the communication medium over the channels and networks. Okay, so when you are connecting with that, you will be looking for the different communication options, like a wired communications, wired network or wireless networks and all this. So nowadays it's the lesser wired network. So, but we have the local establishment of the wireless medium. For example, when you have the internet connectivity in your phone, so the earlier stages we used to have the network, local area network cable, which will be connected to the only one personal computer. Now we have the router and all those things, so we can have the Wi-Fi medium. So there are several mobiles are connected, iPads are connected, the laptops are connected. So how you are going to use the telecommunication technology also, it's very important. Similarly, you will be looking about the informations. Okay, so what kind of informations you are going to have, so how you are going to represent the information. So the representing, you might have all the data, the information, but how you are going to represent, that is very important. So the representation is very very important, as well as the storage is very very important when you talk about any data, what you are achieved and what you are collected from the medical instrumentation, and it transferred through the telecommunication technology. Then how it's representing in the software. Okay, as well as how you are going to have the storage place. So whenever it's, why we are looking for the storage, so whenever it's needed, we'll be taking for the retrieval purpose and all those. So that is very very important. So you need to understand how this can be taken with it. Okay, so the retrieval, as well as further you will be looking for the processing also. So it's need not to be um, considered that only the taken images. No, you can have the processing. Nowadays a lot of medical image the processing, information processing is happening. So to have the better, to have the different analysis purpose, so they will be taking with the processing and with the presentations. Example, I can say that when we are taking it with the through our mobile phone, when we are taking the photograph, so we'll be adjusting the brightness, we'll be adjusting the contrast and all this. So this kind of processing is happening with the all the informations, medical images. So a lot of analysis is happening. So like you would have studied, people would have an idea of the image processing and all those things. So you will be identifying the boundary, you will be identifying the region of interest and all those things. So the processing is happening. Similarly, it is happening with the audio signals also. Yeah, all the signals, medical signals, and okay. So it's a very very important thing how this informations you are going to handle with the technology. Okay. So this is an example understanding of telemedicine systems. So you can see here. So when you look here, this the telemedicine block diagram, you can have the information. You can have the informations on here. So in the block diagram, it's given as a simple the electrocardiogram we are using ECG waveform we are going to occur. Okay. For example, through the medical instrument we are going to use here. So we will be using the different electrodes to collect the ECG signal. Okay, so the ECG waveform will be collected from the patients. Okay, so with the then we'll be having the some kind of filtering techniques, conversions and all those things. Then the informations will be given to the transmission unit. Through the transmission units, so we'll be taking the medium, then another end will be receiving all the information. Here you'll be having, after receiving the informations, the signal, so you'll be having the kind of the software application which is going to use, say example, MATLAB. So here we can say MATLAB. So in the MATLAB, I'm going to write the coding that which is going to have the informations. So which is going to give the information about the RR wave interval, R to R interval, QRS detection, calculation of the different parameters we can have. So if anything abnormalities are found in the ECG waveform, that can be checked. So you will be having the regular ECG waveform, so which is as the unique waveform you will be having, that will be compared with the present waveform. Okay, where abnormalities are there. So this all are very very important. When you understand this, everything can be done with the software. Okay, so this is one example it's taken here for the ECG. Like that, you can have the EMG, EEG signals and all this. So you need to understand here, we are need not to be worried about what kind of signal feature extraction is happening here. No, we are not going to concentrate on this feature extractions and all those things, how we are going to write the coding, but that all things will comes in the biomedical instrumentation. Okay, here we need to know how the telemedicine system is working. So this is the generalized block diagram, we can say that. So in this reception area will be, after receiving all the signal, can be taken for the different processing, then it will be displayed in the monitor. Okay, so this is what our aim here. Okay, we are acquiring some signal. This can be ECG, this can be EMG, this can be EEG, even this can be pulse oximeter. Using the pulse oximeter, you are getting the information about uh, the 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 O2 level and all those things. Then pulse state, you will be getting that information. Now in the digital information, it will transfer as a data. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say? If instead of ECG sensors, if you have here the imaging system, X-ray image, if you are taking of the lower limb of the patients, so you'll be transferring the image. Okay, here. Okay, so instead of that, so this is generalized blocks of telemedicine that can be replaced with our medical equipments, whatever. I hope everyone have understood. So there are two types of technologies we will be adopting here. So one is store and forward. Another one is a two-way interactive televisions. So this is very, very important when you talk about the telemedicine systems, how you will be taking the information. So how you are going to adopt the technology, what type of technology you are going to use. So when you understand store and forward, so in word itself, it says that all the information will be collected, it will be stored, and it will be forwarded. So you need to understand. Say example, in the nodal center, patient is coming for the treatment, so they will be taking them all the required the image signals and all the things. They will be storing in the localized system. Then they will be forwarding the information to the referral centers. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say? So this works only in the non-emergency situations. You need to understand this works in the non-emergency situations. For example, the patient is coming to give the for example, the patient is a diabetic patient. So they want to check the sugar level of the every week. So what they will do, they'll visit the primary health centers. They will give the blood sample. They will check with them the glucose level. They will be recording the informations and they will be storing the information in the database. Okay. So if the patient is coming for the kind of skin issues and all those things, they will be taking the images, they will be storing in, then they will be forwarding. So this works only in the non-emergency situations. Okay, so this can be taken for the teleradiology, this can be taken for the teledermatology, telepathology, everything can be taken. Okay, so the another technology adoptions here, two-way interactive televisions. Okay, so this will work in the video conferencing mode. Okay, so in this store and forward, the nodal centers, the information will be collected, then it will be forwarded to the referral center, then appointment will be fixed and it will be taken for the consideration for the consultations and everything. But in the two-way interactive televisions, if you are using, it works in the video conferencing method. So if it is working in the two-way interactive, both the parties should be there. So in the nodal centers also people should be there, in the referral center also people should be there. So it's equal to the, we can say, as a face-to-face consultations, we can say. So it's a kind of real-time consultation, because the patient will be giving the what is the samples and all those things. Immediately doctor will be consulting from the referral center, so the face-to-face consultation will be happening here. So both the end, both the physician as well as the patient will be available. So it's considered as a almost a face-to-face. So there itself they will be getting all the information, they will be diagnosing, and they will be processing. Say example, the person is going for the kind of fever and cough. Immediately face-to-face consultation, can be done with it, because it's an emergency situations. We can say that that can be done. If the patient is going for some bone fracture and other things, immediately cannot be done, right? So they have to take the radiology department appointment, they have to take the x-ray, then they will be storing, and they will be forwarding to the referral centers. Immediately consultation after 1 hour, or within 2 hours, they will fix the appointment. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you need to understand what kind of the method you are going to adopt, or what kind of technology you are going to adopt for your situation. So that is very, very important when you talk about the telemedicine technology. Okay, so this is the functional diagram of the telemedicine systems. So you can see here, already I told you, like nodal centers as well as the referral centers. Now you can say that I just I have this particular slide says about the fixed stations as well as the mobile stations, like a nodal centers and referral centers. Now I have fixed stations and mobile stations. So this fixed stations is associated with the hospital, and this mobile stations will be moving towards the in and around the area, we can say. Okay, so this mobile stations, so mobility is there, so you can have everywhere the nearby places, they will be taking with the information on this. So here if you see the consultations, so the patients will be visiting, then with the information, so they will be talking through the facility, what they available through the audio as well as the video. So they will be consulting with the doctor, then they will be, okay. So this is another important image. So this you can see that, so through the internet connectivity, so we have connected the entire information to the doctors. Okay, so this is the you can say that we are using the internet GPRS. We are using through that different the locations we will be identifying. So you can check with the entire patient activities. You can check with the entire patient activities with the data. Okay, so if you understand, you will be having like this the different nodes you will be having. So all the nodes will be connected to the server. Okay, so through that we will be monitoring and we will be giving the confirmation. So when you talk about this, the transferring of the information can happen if it is within the limited range and all those things. You can use the Bluetooth modules and all those things to transfer your information. If it is not in the range, you will be going with the kind of internet connectivity. Through that we will be checking with that. Okay, so when you look for this kind of information, so I think